Hey, collective, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. I'm so happy to be here with you. I've been having some technical difficulties, so I want to make sure. Okay, we're on. Thank goodness. I don't know what's going on. I think it's actually on YouTube side of things, so I apologize. I've had a couple videos lately where the sound is not recording, the audio's off. So I apologize for any difficulties or if you have shown up to a live and there's nothing going on. I really appreciate your time, energy. No, it's not intentional at all. And I'm super thankful for you and all you bring to the channel. Welcome in to Saturday morning, where we look at health and well-being via the tarot, astrology, current energy, and the astrology, I should say, um, any channeled messages, as well as some Ayurvedic tidbits. It's been a really interesting week. We had a full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. Lunar eclipses really allow us to take time to do some internal reflection. Reflection on where we're at, what we think, what we feel about what's going on in our life, etc. And that's so important to do. Oftentimes we're so caught up in the grunt and grind, what other people expect of us, what they want of us, etc., that we forget to check in with self. And a lot of what is happening right now in the astrology is forcing us to do so. Speaking of which, I'm going to pull up my charts. I had some trouble getting into those this morning too. Mercury retrograde, whoop whoop. It does deal with frustrations within communication, how we think about things, the way we're processing through, whether or not people want to clarify that communication, etc. And it's specifically focused on relationships, this Mercury retrograde. It's heavily aspected to Venus, to Mars, and to the Sun, which is essentially Venus, Mars is that masculine, feminine energy. And then the Sun is our ego, right? Like how we feel about things. And Neptune and Saturn are in Aries, recently moved into Aries, which is that value of listening to self, of actually hearing what our intuition is saying, what it is speaking to us, and then making changes, adjustments accordingly so we're better serving self. And I'm not talking about being selfish. I would assume if you're at this channel listening to these messages, that's not your vibe anyway. You know, we all have things that we like to be ours. Sometimes at my house, I eat too much of the food. My son gets so mad. No, but we all have those little things, right? But it's about honoring self. It's not selfishness, it's honoring self. And some people don't understand that. Change is inevitable. Some of the changes that we're seeing, we're not really liking. That's also manifesting in the astrology. I'm just, sorry, pulling up my charts. Specifically with the North Node and tensely aspected to Black Moon Lilith. The moon is tensely aspected to Pluto today. So just kind of a lot of uncomfortability, right? It's actually in regards to the astrology, just what I'll say, because I think it's really important when we're dealing with our health and well being. It's easier to heal, to grow, to evolve when not a lot's going on. When things are chaotic, we get thrown into that fight or flight mode, and that's intense, right? You're not necessarily grounded within your body to make decisions that we make the best choices when we're in those spaces, and sometimes we do just have to make that choice, cross our fingers, hope that things work out for us. But it's also hard to be connected with self when we're in those spaces, is all I was trying to get to. And that's really what these readings are about. They're about whether you're dealing with mental, emotional, physical struggles, however it fares out for you. Energy is the same, it's fluid. I like to start my readings off with an energy cleansing just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel stuck, blocked, limited. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. You can also throw comments down in the chat. I love to interact, engage. I don't like to get too personal. I know I said I would upload a video, so I will put that on the docket. I promise for this month. How about that? I'll give myself this month. We will do more personalized. We can do a live where we like interact and engage about more personal things. But definitely drop comments. Collective energy, that's the beauty of it. Sometimes we talk about something that someone else might be going through and they just get that validation, that affirmation with what you share. And that's why I love it, right? I think it's a community coming together, harmony, balance, reciprocity is a beautiful thing. I also offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed. If you're interested in more of a realignment of self, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're grounded in self, just like I was talking about, it's way easier to be happy, to feel fulfilled, to manifest, to find success in our life. And I would love to support that in whatever way possible for you. Definitely hit me up if you're interested. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I am going to take a sip at some point, but I didn't get to it yet. Too much chatting, Deborah. All right. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Mama Love. We all need that love, don't we? I feel like especially today, I'm just picking up this energy of a little bit of heaviness. It's not, yes, maybe grief, sadness, pain, but it's more like I'm also picking up a sense of peace, like you're at peace with where things are at in the present moment. But that heaviness, that grief, it's the residual, right? It's the burden of what it means to maybe move through this time. And astrologically, just even this weekend between today and tomorrow, today's a little bit more of a tense day. Today we have a little bit more challenge, frustration that we have to work through. And look at maybe some uncomfortable things. I'm not even saying this is necessary. Yes, I think there are things always within self. I'm a firm believer that what we attract in our environment is some level of belief within self, your worth, your value. And that's what we're trying to heal. That's what these readings are all about. Because whether disease is manifesting mind, body, soul, it all plays a part, right? Like, and I think those places where we come into trauma, when we have difficult obstacles, situations to overcome, it can be easy to get stuck, right? A cup of tea. I like this. Patience and reassessment. I feel like this message has been coming up for us a lot in general. I just did a reading last night, a weekly recap. Check it out if you're interested. This, it is reassessment. It's reassessment of what has happened, but it's coming from that space of peace and calm. It's coming from a space of more tranquility within you. I'm seeing that chamomile flower in the teacup. Chamomile is very soothing for the nervous system, very calming for our mind. It's good to help with sleep. As a side note, if you're struggling to sleep, or maybe sleep is just a little bit rough right now, the dream world, being in Pisces season, the veil is thin, meaning it's easier to tap into that spirit world or different realms if you believe in that. So you might be getting some disruptive sleep. You might be feeling a little bit off put. And that's part of the heaviness I feel like that I'm picking up this morning. But I also feel, like I said, like there is this sense of calm. I know I kind of said that already, but there is this sense of you're managing it. It doesn't feel so much of that fight or flight that I was talking about in the very beginning. It doesn't feel so much like you're helpless, like you're actually taking control. And we see that with this cauldron card: creation, opportunity, caring. So the processing that you're doing, the reflection that you're doing, the reassessment that you're doing is actually incredibly powerful, because it's allowing you to create from a place of intention and care, like care for yourself, care for what you want things to look like, especially as it relates. I mean, this is life, yes, but it's also about the foundation of that is how we feel, how well we are, right? And the sage card pops out. So wisdom, purification, harmony. That's exactly this smudge bundle I use for our readings is sage. It's a really good purifier and cleanser. It's also nice in some, holiday cooking, as we know. But like I said, it's spiritual symbolism is more about the cleansing, the purification. And for you specifically, I'm hearing this week, it's all about kind of like setting that intention, coming from a space where the processing that you're doing is allowing new insight, new information to inform your decisions for your health and well-being moving forward. And like I said, some of the stuff is a little bit tricky to look at. Moving slower today, I think is good. It's going to make you feel a little bit better, or maybe even the emotional world won't feel great, but you're giving yourself balance. You're giving yourself some rest and reprieve, which I feel like is really necessary right now. Grounding, earth, peace, grounding, stability, because that's what it's all about. And I actually was thinking about this because I get annoyed at myself for, like, on the channel, I'm like, the energy's moving slow, or we're being forced to slow down, or whatever. Like, that's been a huge theme lately. I'm annoyed at myself because I keep saying that, and I wish it wouldn't. I like to move a little bit quicker in my life. So patience isn't my strong suit, but the value of slowing down is it does give us a level of peace and stability and grounding. And the nice thing about earth energy is it does move a little bit slower. Yeah, we might not get our manifestation tomorrow, but it gives us a little bit more space to enjoy the day, the moment. We don't have to be rushing through everything. As I'm saying that, I'm just noticing the beauty of this card. I love the background. When we take the time to look at a nice sunset or go for a walk in nature, I'm a huge, like, nature is one of the most grounding things. Ayurveda it says it's really good, especially to take a morning walk. It's really good for your circadian rhythms, your body clock, essentially. It's also really useful in waking up the body, waking up your digestion. And, I think that those things, what I love about Ayurveda is it reminds us that everything can be medicine. You know, we can put medicine healing into every aspect of our day. And it doesn't have to be some like crazy spiritual, whatever. It can be a simple thing of like blessing your water and then drinking it. It's actually really cool. Some of the studies, if you've ever seen, I think that they have it online. I'm sure you can find it anywhere, but where they'll actually play either, affirming music, things that are higher vibrational with water, and then they will take a picture of the crystals that form. And then when they do something a little bit more like angry and aggressive, it's all like broken glass, and it's just beautiful. Like nature is intelligent, just like our bodies are intelligent. And what I love about Ayurveda, oh, full circle moment with our chamomile. What I love about Ayurveda is it gives us so many different ways that we can actually add sacrament to our body. And the more we do that, the more we heal. The more we heal unintentionally or inadvertently, I would say, like healing becomes a natural byproduct of the good that we are doing for ourselves. And that is, I think, a proponent. Chamomile is gentleness, relaxation, sleep. So making sure that you are taking your time with your energy. Again, I don't think that this is going to be forever. I like this time of slowness or moving a little bit more intentionally slower, etc. I actually came across another reader who was saying like I didn't watch the video. I just read the headline, but it was basically like we've been told to slow down. It is going to serve a purpose and things are going to get quick soon. And I feel like that's kind of what we're preparing for. We have Jupiter in retrograde through the rest of the month. Let me just pull up, make sure I'm saying this, as well as Mercury will actually, my bad. Jupiter goes direct this month, mid-March, and then Mercury will go direct in on the 20th, excuse me. So, okay, in our blocked energy, remembrance, loyalty, faithfulness. So, I think a lot of the readjusting is about how you're committing to self, how you are I feel like it's kind of that value of liminal space, like being caught in between two worlds where there are some things like you're actively trying to get away from certain things that obviously haven't helped you, that haven't served you. Maybe even disconnecting your loyalty from certain people, certain situations, patterns, unhealthy patterns that we get caught in. And, I think in a lot of ways that is maybe partially what is feeling like it's being uprooted in your life. As in, because you're breaking ties, you don't have a lot of framework or grounding to work with in this current time. You're actually rebuilding that structure, is what I'm hearing. Rosemary is also really good for the memory and intelligence. Like it's really good for our thought world. And if some people like rosemary potatoes. Rosemary is not my favorite personally. So that might be part of my discuss. But, you can find different culinary uses. Rosemary potatoes are usually a fan favorite. I don't know why I'm getting into so many festive dishes today, but fall dishes. Okay. So interesting. In your environment, 5 of air. And this kind of goes back to, oh no, that's white sage. Okay, so we get double confirmation on the sage, the stuff that you're clearing out. 5 of swords is blocks. Like it is people, situations, like you have no access anymore to certain things. And I feel like this is partially what you've done for yourself. But this is also, I'm feeling like resistance and boundaries in your world. Like maybe even certain things that you had committed to or whatever are no longer available. And I feel like that's kind of where your foundation feels unstable at this point. You are creating, like, there's a lot of really beautiful things that are happening for you in the background. And I think it looks like it's part of your intentional work that you're doing for yourself. But this feels like the glaring reality. This Five of Swords, it feels like that's what's the easiest thing to see, because either, you're being blocked out of something, there's some type of rejection, you're being withheld from something, etc. It is forcing you to take a different route. It's forcing you to take that step back and process through, taking your time, being a lot more gentle with yourself. I'm even hearing too, like, a lot of times this manifests when we need to do it a little bit differently. Being loving, kind, taking care of who you are, your body, your mind, your soul, recognizing that everything doesn't happen so quickly. And that's exactly what it's funny, the Adelita of Fire. This is the Knight of Wands. You're ready to go, and we've been seeing this energy a lot in our readings. Like, movement is starting to happen. Good things are starting to unfold, are starting to manifest. And so we're like, because we've kind of been put down for a hot minute, a long minute for some of us, it's like, okay, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, right? But that becomes a little bit counterintuitive to the healing work that you have been doing. There still is something about being intentional, taking your time, enjoying the beautiful things that are in front of you. Again, all of that stuff is healing medicine. Even if it's not, if it doesn't seem like that, it is really cool. It's been one of my favorite things with Ayurveda. The more I follow an Ayurvedic lifestyle, just the better things get all around, And that's what this is about. Realignment, whether it's physical ailment, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is, realignment is not an easy thing to do. And so many things in our world teach us to disconnect from ourselves. And when we are healing, that's reconnecting with self. And so, even though this might feel raw, it doesn't carry a lot of weight. If anything, it's giving you the time, the energy, the space to do what you need to do. And in a way where this is basically saying, like, you don't have to move so quickly. You can stop to smell the roses. Um, you are in a little bit of a push and pull, however, because the funny thing about your environment is there's a refusal to participate, but then a refusal for change as well. And so I understand where the need to escape comes from, or wanting to jump ahead, or like, there's some, okay, it kind of puts you like in a place of distrust, or where I feel self-protection. I feel like you want to do it yourself, rightfully so, or maybe appropriately so. But there's something about this Nine of Fire that is keeping you limited. And I don't know if it's just because whatever struggles you're dealing with, people, belief systems, struggling to kind of get your health routine up and running, whatever that might look for you. I was reading about this too this week. Ayurveda is all about the happy medium, the golden medium. That's what they were calling it. Don't become fanatical about something, right? And that's a little bit what the Knight of Wands can do, is become very fixated on an idea and think that's it, and then not stay open to other things, other options, other ways of doing things. And that is only going to create repression, which in Ayurveda, repression equals stress. And stress is one of the biggest things that breaks healthy cells down. It's the worst thing for us. We all know this, right? You can't escape it, unfortunately, modern day. So we got to figure out how we can work with it. And that's where taking time to smell the roses, or whatever this looks like for you, carving out 15 minutes, a half an hour, whatever you can give yourself. Whether that means you have to wake up a little bit earlier or go to bed on time, or, you got to turn your phone on airplane mode, whatever it is, right? Finding solutions that you can have that peace and sanity, because it's going to open up your energy a little bit more. Right now, or this week, beginning of the week, it feels a little bit rigid, or I got to do, I got to do, I got to do. And yes, but also leave room for some flexibility. I think that can be some of the challenge. I'm hearing like that pendulum swing. You might have vacillated from one extreme to the other, or feel like you're in that space. And that's because of some of this lack of grounding, or things aren't really settled in, going back to that concept of liminal space that I was talking about a little bit earlier. So again, Ayurveda is a lot about, like, I call it maximum efficiency, minimum effort. Do less, achieve more. And I love that concept, because I think there is a way, right? There is, well, I've seen it even just kind of when I am consistent about I like personally yoga, meditation, pranayamic breathing. That's like that fills my soul, my whatever, my being. It helps align me. And so when I do it, I feel better. It gives me more energy. I'm not eating crappy. I'm a little bit more clear in my mental, my emotional, my respiratory, all the benefits, right? And that's why we do those things, because it helps give you the fuel in all those other ways. Okay, so 10 of Earth, 10 of Pentacles, horsetail, family, community, stability, being challenged. And that can also just be the old way of doing things, or whatever, again, whatever like is rejecting you, but like doesn't want you to leave. We have 6 of air. You continue to plug forward. It does look like I feel like good things are coming in this week, because it's giving you an opportunity we saw this even within the reading last night, like it's giving you an opportunity to continue to move forward. It might not be the most monumental things, or I even kind of just see that in general in your energy, is it's like a steady incline, like it's a steady rise. And I like that for you, because I think as much as there might be this desire for things to come in immediately right off the bat, or, it's happening. It's happening. That's that background energy that's working in your favor that I was talking to you about. And some of this is stuff that, like, come on. I can't pick it up. Some of this stuff is about did I lose my thought? Shit, sorry. Oops. Sorry. I totally blanked on that. All right. The steady incline. Oh, like you don't have to worry, right? Like you don't have to have everything so dialed in. Yes, it's good to be efficient. It's good to have things working. But when they don't work, that's when we need to be a little bit more flexible and patient with ourselves, etc. And it looks like whatever this energy is that's holding on to you, the more you slowly plug away at releasing, at letting go, the more it naturally leaves, right? There is like a natural ending, which I think for you feels, like I said, it's more about peace and calm and moving to a better space for yourself in your life. The chamomile, sorry, these cards aren't coming up. A better space in your life for you than this like tower moment, things are falling apart. It feels chaotic, it feels destructive. That energy isn't present. It's more like be kind to yourself. Recognize that it is going to feel a little willy-nilly right now because whatever stability, whatever foundation you had built before hasn't been working, and you're recognizing that and you're doing something about it. And that's the smartest thing you can do is do something about it because that's actually going to get you that energy of movement forward. And I think you're seeing the results of that ish. I mean, you might be a little bit in your head or annoyed or just frustrated at how things are moving, but I think you can still see the movement nonetheless. Yes, beautiful. And then we get this Hierophant card, which I love. I love the Hierophant. I love cacao. You could do a cacao ceremony. Those are really fun to do. I like all the ritual personally. Let's clarify what this is for you. The Hierophant. Okay. Ace of Swords, clarity coming in. Eight of Fire, communications. Oh, Eight of Earth. It's like you know exactly what you need to do for yourself. And it's starting to work. It's starting to pay off, is what I'm seeing. As much as, and I don't want to label it resistance because you're not resisting, you're just like wanting to be a little bit further along. But what I want to tell you is you're exactly where you need to be. I know that's so annoying. Sorry, not to be an annoying, like cliche person, but it is true, right? Like you're in the space that you need. You can be a little bit more gentle on yourself, not so rigid, not so strict. It's not going to get you anywhere further. This reminds me, I love that saying, yeah, you can race to the bus stop, but you're still going to have to wait for the bus. So you might as well enjoy the journey there, or the walk there, whatever. And that's I feel like it's a little bit more of a challenge for you to do that this week, to kind of maybe get out of your headspace or the places that this rejection, whatever this is, becomes front and center, feels a little bit heavy or hard to avoid, hard to, like you have to acknowledge it. And it looks like you are. That's why I like this tea for you, because it's reminding you that you are taking time to process through. And that's actually going to, again, be your best friend this week. I love that. Breathe. One of my favorite things. There's so many different types of pranayamic breathing. I love the alternate nostril breathing because it helps align the right and left hemisphere in our brain. You don't have to do it. We can do something as easy as just like taking some deep breaths, filling up your lungs, taking time to exhale. That's actually very rejuvenative to your body. It's easy for me to return to the present moment simply by breathing. If I'm feeling anxious or worried, I close my eyes, breathe in deeply as I picture myself filling up with white light. Then exhale and envision stress and tension leaving my body. In this moment, I am free to gently stretch and open my eyes, feeling a little refreshed. I like that. It gives you a little insight into what you can do. You can also look up any of those, um, any type of breathing technique. The internet is a great resource for all information. Really being conscious, mindful of your food. When I eat what fuels me, I eat the best foods accessible to me. I infuse my food with love and gratitude before eating, visualizing the nutrients I'm consuming and the love that went into growing and preparing this food. Obviously, Ayurveda is huge into preparing your own food. So much of what is quickly accessible, is heavily processed. It's not great for our bodies. Even if you do find a good restaurant to go place, it's very expensive, you know what I mean? So, and there is something about like preparing your own food. Actually, in the energy world, there's kitchen magic, if you've ever heard of it, where you can actually use different types of food, herb, spice to infuse more of the energy that you want into your life. And again, all this is about, you don't have to do that. Like I said, you can say a prayer, bless your food, then consume it. um all that is about is setting intention, right? And I think that that's kind of the baseline. You don't have to buy into the woohoo if it's not your vibe, and there's many different ways to do it, right? You don't have to be you know, doing a sacred dance in the backyard around a fire even though it's fun, right? But so being more mindful before you eat, even if it's just kind of taking a second to check in with your body before you start consuming your food, eating a little bit slower, recognizing when you're actually full and setting down the fork, the knife, or whatever, right? The spoon, that type of stuff. And I think that I actually really like this as I'm saying this, because it really drives home this point of moving a little bit slower. Not everything has to be done in this moment, in this time. You have more space, more time, more than I should say, than maybe even what it feels like to be present in this moment. And I feel like, again, that's where you want to plug in that healing energy, regardless of what that looks like for you. All right, let's close it out. Our final oracle. Oh, dance it out. See, the cards do want us to dance around the fire. I can move emotions through my body by dancing. Whenever I start to feel built up energy or crankiness, I will play some music and move intuitively. I don't have to look a certain way, simply move and feel the stress or heaviness begin to ease out of my body. We are a huge dancing family. My son and I, we love to turn on the music and dance it out in the kitchen. And, it's just, it is like, it's that value of whatever negative energy, lower vibration, however you want to say it, thoughts, feelings, emotions, it gets stuck in our body. It actually gets stuck in our connective tissues. And when we do movement, when we dance, when we do yoga, when we get a massage, do acupuncture, all that's doing is opening up those channels so that it's not getting stuck. So it's not getting lodged into our being and then cultivating more disease. And that's also the energy of what it means to like take our time, process through things, have a cup of tea, watch the sunrise, go for a walk, right? Not everything has to be done today. And I feel like there's a little bit of tension, a little frustration around that, because we're starting to feel things are moving forward and it's exciting. And like, I know like the weather is getting warmer, spring is on the horizon. It's a little dreary today where I'm at, but that's, again, it's really, sometimes it's good to just like follow the sun. It's a good day to just kind of relax and nurture yourself and not move too quickly. And then you're going to feel better for tomorrow, which we have more support in the astrology. You can be a little more active, have a little more fun, etc. Whatever that looks like for you. So, interesting energy. I like it. Keep intentional. Keep dialing in, keep checking in with yourself. What do you feel? What do you need in this moment in time? What is going to be best for your mind, your body, your soul? Can you carve out some extra time for yourself to do some things that are really nourishing and supportive? All those are good questions to ask over this next week, especially as we do have some extra time space to honor ourselves. And I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Thank you so much for your time, energy always. especially if you stayed this far in the reading. I appreciate you. I would love to know if it resonates. Definitely drop comments below. I love to connect or just say hey, chit chat with the community. It's one of my favorite things to do. Know that I hope you have a fabulous week. I hope you find time, space to honor, care for yourself. And even if you don't, that's okay too. Even just kind of having this in the back of our awareness, or maybe thinking about ways we would do it, or try learning ourselves a little bit more this week. What are things that I like? What are things that feel good, that feel supportive to me? That is just as valuable as actually doing the thing. So I hope this helps. Know that I'm sending all the love, all the blessings to you. I will be live again Monday night. Hopefully our audio issues are behind us moving forward. Thank you for your patience always. Have a fabulous week. I'll talk to you soon.